Hello everyone, and welcome to the 40th episode of Tuesdays with Tobe. My name is Tobe Frierson, and I am delighted to be back before you again today. Did you hear me just say 40th? I am super pumped that I have been able to deliver this content to you all every single week on Tuesdays, as I said in my first episode. I promised you all a year of this because I didn't really know what I was doing with it. I still kind of sort of don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm having a ton of fun and y'all keep coming back for more content. So with this being the 40th episode, I did want to warn you that we're literally 12 episodes away from wrapping up that year of Tuesdays with Tobe. So I would appreciate it if you all would drop me some comments and let me know if you think I'm in the right direction here, if you could see yourself listening for longer than just these next 12 weeks. And I do want to thank you for your presence in this space. But let's go back to last week's message as we do each week when I'm kicking things off. I told you all that I had a plan and then my plan backfired on me. And if you were able to see last week's message, the lesson learned is don't try to hide. Do not try to hide. Things are happening around you. Things are happening to you. Things are happening for you, perhaps, for a very stated reason. And even if you are uncomfortable in what's happening in any given moment, it may have a greater plan and a greater purpose. And we need to lean into those moments because sometimes when you try to hide, things exasperate and they get even more out of control. And that is the example that I provided for you all last week. So if you did not get a chance to see my plan backfired, please hop back 1 week and check out that message. So today, as we do each week before we get started, we need to go over our family rules. And I hope you guys are doing well today. However, during Tuesdays with Tobe, we will use kind words, do your best, always be honest, forgive and forget, be happy, count your blessings, laugh at yourself, stay positive, and today I get a chance to share some precious memories with you all and hopefully entice you to perhaps try a new activity, maybe something you had not thought about before, by showing you the ton of fun that I had in the Smoky Mountains just last year, this very same time, end of September, beginning of October. I had been at home since March 2020, COVID, and worked at home from March 2020 to August 1st or so, August 15th or so of 2020. That was way too much isolation for someone like me. I'm typically accustomed to being able to vacation at least once a year, and my vacation time is typically spring, summer. So of course that I missed that window. I just didn't personally feel like it was responsible to travel during that time. Didn't really know much about the virus or how it moved. And so I was keeping pretty still and being in the house as well. By the time September hit, I was stir crazy, you all. I was stir crazy. I was a little like, oh man, you haven't gone anywhere. You really need to get away. You need to relax and think about the stressors too and the uncertainty of the pandemic and all the loss that we were experiencing as well. And so I just thought September, got to figure out how to get away. I said, maybe the mountains would be safe. Maybe if I found someone who wanted to go to the mountains and wanted to explore and just hang out and just breathe again and relax, that would be a safe trip to take. And so I called one of my best travel buddies. Her name is Yvette. This is cousin Yvette. And I asked her, would she be willing to meet me in Tennessee, the Pigeon Forge area, meet me in Tennessee for a mountain adventure. And Yvette said, when I go to the mountains, or even when I think about the mountains, because this is my first like dedicated trip specifically to hike and to explore. I've been to the mountains before, but this one felt differently. But when I go, I do have a few objectives. One of those objectives is to be able to be still. I'm not still by nature. I'm not quiet by nature. However, for any of you who have had a mountain visit or a mountain adventure, if you will, that is something that scenery just gives you. You are in the presence of so much enormity, if you will, with just what's around you. It makes you quiet, or for me it does, it stills me. I have an opportunity to commune with nature, and I just can literally sit with my thoughts in a way that I can't really do in other settings. Also, when I go to the mountains, another one of my objectives, I want to do something physically challenging. I want to be able to say, I conquered that, or I saw that, or I did a thing. So that's always something that's on my radar as well. And then I'm always in search of waterfalls and wildlife. I love water. I've got this thing with water. I've always had this thing with water. And so being able to go 3 or 4 miles and then all of a sudden here goes this waterfall, that's just beautiful to me. And then the wildlife, of course, there's coyotes, there's deer, there are all sorts of birds. And then there are bears. Nothing gets me going like a good bear sighting. And when I say gets me going, you're going to see in just a bit exactly what I mean by that. So our trip, I think the trip was about 4 or 5 days. And within that short period of time, we were able to do 4 or 5 different, I would say, hikes slash adventures. And the first one I want to tell you all about is Klondikes Dome. Klondikes Dome is a super, super popular tourist destination. So if you're going to head that way, I would recommend doing it first thing in the morning so you beat the crowds. But at Klondikes Dome, we actually saw the highest point of the Smoky Mountains. And there's actually a paved area that you can walk through. So don't think rugged. Don't think, oh my gosh, you know, that's something I would never be able to get to. It's paved all the way up to this particular viewing area. And once you get to the viewing area, oh my goodness, check out these views of Klondikes Dome. It's the 365-degree view. Down. Then there's the water. I told you all how much I love the water. So we got a chance to see 2 different waterfalls. One of them is Laurel Falls. Laurel Falls is about 80 feet tall. We had an opportunity to hike there. It's a little bit slippery when you're going specifically to look for the waterfall. So you want to be careful, but we're going to talk about gear in just a bit. But check out the beauty of Laurel Falls. And then after that, we went to Abrams Falls. Abrams Falls is about 20 feet high. So it's not as high, but the rate at which the water is spewing from the falls, it is just wow, it is so forceful. You can hear it. It just completely brings calmness over you. And these were 2 very cool waterfalls to be able to find when we're exploring. So check those out. I got to pay attention to where I'm stepping, so I got to go. That's a major volume right there. Wow. So guys, when I said I was coming to a waterfall, I meant it. I might be a tad close, but it's worth it. I really needed this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh man. Look at this scenery. I told you that not to go that far because this is really wet and slippery. If you wanted to go explore, just wanted to kind of get down there. What was up there?
I wanted to see kind of both of the falls.
Could you see it?
Yeah, and so I got a pic with both, you know,
oh wow,
angle where you can see both of them at the same time.
Okay. Then we headed to Andrews Bald. Andrews Bald is described as a moderately difficult hike, and I'm going to actually show you kind of my descent down when we're starting the trail for Andrews Bald, and then you'll also see us on the way back up. I'm going to look super different because you peel off a lot of layers when you're trying to hike these trails, but the trails, it was clearly mapped. Felt safe on there as well, but by the time we got to the viewing area, oh my goodness, Yvette and I literally just sat on a rock. We had our lunch up there and just really enjoyed everything around us. The views are absolutely stunning, and again, it just brings you to that stillness and that quietness as well. But it was also a solid workout hiking Andrews Bald. It was so much fun. Check it out. All right, guys, here we go. So guys, we just hiked Andrew's Ball. So was that it? Yeah, Andrew's Ball. Oh yeah, you guys made it. So did we. So this was a return trip back. Yeah, I look a lot different than the other photos because I was peeling off layers just to make it. But we're back. We made it. It was amazing. We made it. You okay, cuz? You okay? All right. And then our final adventure to just kind of round out and what I would say put a bow on the trip, we went to Cades Cove. And those of you who do know hiking and know the Smoky Mountains, you'll know that this is a phenomenal opportunity to drive the loop of Cades Cove because there is so much wildlife to see in that area. And as we're driving Cades Cove, we definitely saw those deer that I mentioned earlier. We saw coyotes. We saw other animals that I can't really identify, tons of birds. And then this was the bear sighting. Now, there are things that I have read about bears in the past. I certainly read while I was on this trip because I knew that this was something that I wanted, and then I just kind of thought it was going to happen. So I know bear etiquette, and some of you are like really rolling your eyes right now like, Toby, what is bear etiquette? There's real things called bear etiquette. Essentially, if you spot a bear, it is okay to see a bear, and as long as they are doing their normal routine, so if they're walking somewhere, or if they're feeding, or if they're off on their own, as long as that doesn't change, you're good. If they turn around and start walking towards you, you're not. That's bear etiquette. Also, you should never try to rush a bear or try to approach a bear or get them doing anything outside of their norm. So I'm serious about this. There's bear etiquette. So I do want you all to see, though, I want you to see some of Cades Cove. Forget that whole thing just now because I feel the eyes rolling back at me. I hope you all enjoy my bear sighting. I was super pumped. Okay, y'all, we are in Cades Cove. I just got out of my car because we finally saw a black bear. I got out of my car. Where is he? Shoot. Oh crap. This is our third morning. Where is he? There he is. Oh, this is our third black bear today. Wait, is that a bear? Yeah, that's good. We're gonna see a bear. We just saw one 5 minutes ago. I don't think he's still on the road, but I told her to hop out of the car. I was like, look, okay, you hop out of the car, you go see if the bear's still up there. So I'm in the confines of the car. She's looking for the bear. You know. So I really hope you all enjoyed me talking about my mountain adventure today. Y'all, I had a blast last year in the Smoky Mountains. And remember, I took this trip out of necessity because I had just been in the house since March of 2020. And I just was not gonna sacrifice my own health and well-being by not figuring out a way to get out and explore, but also to be safe because we were certainly in the height of the pandemic at that moment. And this trip proved to do it for me. So if you're now convinced that you might want to take a chance at having your own mountain adventure, I want to end this today with a few tips and a few items to show. First of all, whenever you go to the mountains, you absolutely need to dress in layers. Especially when we went out for Andrew's Ball, it was, the temperature was a certain point in the morning. And then as we start to walk, because you'll remember Andrew's Ball was about a 3.5 mile hike. As you start to walk, you're gonna heat up a little bit. And so as you heat up, you're definitely going to need the opportunity to be able to take off some of those layers. Now, this guy that you're about to see right now, I'm super excited. So I got so pumped from this trip last year. When it was time for me to create my Christmas list and to submit it, I asked for a hiking/ski jacket. We'll talk about skiing a little bit later on. But this guy, oh my goodness. I'm gonna be able to have so much fun with this whenever it's time to actually take this on my first trip. It's still brand spanking new. Honestly, to do this video, I had to take the tag off of it because by the time I got it for Christmas, I didn't have any more trips planned, and certainly not to cold climates. And then lastly, after you have your layers, you're going to need some solid boots. You're definitely gonna need some great boots with lots of good traction. We were doing those waterfalls and just hiking in general. You want traction. You also want your ankles covered just in case you kind of slip and slide. And if you're really gonna explore and get good at this, Yvette had these. You'll see them in some of the pictures. You're gonna need some trail buddies or something like it. I shouldn't have even called trail buddies names. They're not paying me for this. But you're gonna need some walking sticks. These are actual walking sticks, and of course, mine are red. I have to show you the red. You're gonna need some walking sticks for your adventure. I really hope you all had as much fun today as I did talking about a mountain adventure. I am actually seeking an opportunity to go again. Not necessarily to the Smokies. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I'm definitely gonna get out there. I'm going to explore. I'm gonna be still. I'm gonna be able to sit with my thoughts, and I'm gonna look for bears. I hope you all like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week.